Welcome to Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into something fascinating. The very high standards behind true professional skill. And we're doing that by, well, pulling back the curtain on the Stott Pilates practical exam. It's this incredibly intense assessment.
It really is.
And it's a great model for understanding how you take theory, book knowledge, and turn it into actual adaptable skill in the real world.
Absolutely. And it's so much more than just like performing the exercises correctly. Caroline Berger de Fémynie, she's a senior examiner. She puts it perfectly. She calls it a moment of truth between knowledge and movement. It's not just about looking good. It's about pedagogical coherence, a really deep grasp of the body.
Okay, so pedagogical coherence, meaning how well you teach and structure things.
Exactly. How will you connect the dots between what you see, what you plan, and what you do?
Got it. And, maybe you're listening and thinking, I'm not a Pilates instructor. Why does this matter to me? Well, stick around because this deep dive really unpacks the skills needed in any complex job that requires you to adapt on the fly.
Like analysis, strategy.
Right. Analysis, quick strategic thinking, adaptation, whether you're, an engineer, a manager, maybe even a chef or a surgeon.
Yeah.
These core skills are universal.
That's a great point. And to start unpacking it, we actually have to begin somewhere kind of surprising.
Okay.
The evaluation. It kicks off before a single Pilates move happens. It starts with professional attitude.
Really? Before anything physical, attitude first.
Yep. The moment the candidate walks in the door, they're watching for concentration, for a sense of calm, respect. It's about their integrity, not putting on a show.
Integrity. Like a quiet confidence that they can actually guide someone else's body safely.
Precisely. That presence is key because it flows right into the next step, making a genuine human connection.
So it's not just clinical.
Not at all. Before they even think about assessing movement, the instructor has to connect. Professionally, yes, but also human to human.
Asking questions, you mean?
Yeah. Asking about their history.
Yeah.
Any injuries, what kind of activities they do, any pain they're feeling right now.
Makes sense. You can't teach in a vacuum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As Caroline says, you teach a living body with a memory. That first conversation shows if the instructor is really listening, really seeing the person in front of them.
Okay, so attitude, connection. Then we get to the technical stuff.
Then the clock starts ticking. First big test. A 10-minute postural analysis. It's rigorous.
10 minutes? That sounds incredibly fast.
It is. They use a plumb line, that weighted string as a neutral reference. And they have to observe the body's relationship to gravity from 3 angles.
Which are?
Profile, so side view, front view, and back view.
And how do they structure that observation in just 10 minutes? It seems like a lot to cover.
They have to be incredibly methodical. It's a strict sequence. They look segment by segment.
Like bottom up.
Usually, yeah. Feet, ankles, knees, how the pelvis is sitting, the rib cage position, shoulders, all the way up to the head. It's like a structural scan, but under pressure.
Okay. Is it just static observation?
No, that's the next layer. They also do 2 specific vertebral mobility tests.
To see how the spine moves?
Basically, yes. But they're designed to pinpoint any flat zones areas where movement is restricted or stiff.
Okay.
And the crucial part is seeing if the candidate notices how, if one area is stiff, the rest compensates. The body finds a workaround, right?
Right. It has to, even if it's not the most efficient way. So that compensation pattern is key.
It really is, because what's really being evaluated there isn't just can they spot a tight muscle, it's the quality of the gaze.
The quality of the gaze, meaning?
Meaning, can they look at the body and provide a description that is concise, precise, and coherent, not just rattling off anatomy terms? Can they synthesize what they see into something meaningful?
Distilling the important stuff from all the visual information.
Exactly. Can they see the mechanical reality?
Okay, analysis done. 10 minutes up. What's next?
Straight into strategy. They have to take everything they just observed and boil it down into a stated focus.
A single sentence.
Usually, yeah. A single sentence or maybe a very short phrase. This is their guiding principle, their pedagogical intention for the entire class that follows.
And this focus has to link back directly to that postural analysis they just did.
Absolutely. Coherence is everything here. The focus needs to be logical, concrete, something they can actually work towards in the session.
So like an action plan.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, okay, based on what I saw, I will focus on stretching this tight hip flexor, strengthening these specific core muscles, mobilizing the upper back here to help rebalance the shoulder position there.
Yeah.
Something tangible.
Avoids just throwing random exercises at the person.
Exactly. It prevents scattering the effort. It ensures there's a clear line from diagnosis through the program design to the actual execution.
Okay, so they have their focus. Now they need the tools. This brings us to the 5 fundamental principles of Stott Pilates, right?
The bedrock, yes. You can't teach this method without them. And it's not enough to just list them. They have to be woven into how they teach every single exercise.
These principles are probably worth touching on, even briefly, for anyone listening who might not be familiar.
Good idea. They are the core of safe and effective movement in this system.
So what are they?
Okay, number 1, breathing. The actual mechanics of inhale and exhale. 2, pelvis placement, whether the lower spine is neutral or slightly imprinted. 3, rib cage placement, keeping the ribs connected, avoiding flare. 4, scapular stabilization, anchoring the shoulder blades for arm movement.
Right.
And 5, head and cervical spine placement, maintaining that natural curve and length through the neck.
Got it. Breathing, pelvis, ribs, scapulae, head, neck. So how does the exam actually test if the candidate understands these, not just knows the names?
They test the logic behind the choices. Examiners will constantly ask why.
Like what?
Like, why did you choose a neutral pelvis for that exercise? Or how exactly is the breathing pattern supporting trunk stability in this movement?
So it forces them to explain the biomechanics.
Precisely. Just knowing the repertoire, the list of exercises, isn't enough. You have to demonstrate you understand the reasoning behind each setup, each movement, each cue, the why.
That definitely elevates it. It's not just physical performance, it's an intellectual defense of your choices.
You got it. It makes them think in real time. If someone just picks an exercise because, I don't know, it looks impressive, but it doesn't actually serve that stated focus,
Then they're showing a lack of coherence.
instantly.
Okay, let's move on to building the actual class, the structure. There's a required format here too, isn't there?
Oh, yes. A very specific progression they have to follow. It has to start with 2 particular foundational movements.
Which ones?
They always begin with ab prep and breaststroke prep.
Okay, for people who don't know this.
They're basically cornerstone exercises to check and establish core control and how well the person integrates their breathing before you load them up with more complex stuff.
Makes sense. Assess the foundation first.
Critical. After those 2 preps, the main body of the class has a specific recipe. Yeah, they need to include 8 fundamental level exercises, 4 intermediate level, and then they have up to 2 jokers.
Jokers, like wild cards.
Sort of, but it's not about improvisation. The jokers are actually a tool for the examiner.
How so?
The examiner can use a joker to test the candidate's breadth and depth of knowledge. They might say, okay, instead of the exercise you plan next, show me another exercise that targets the same muscle group, but maybe in a different body position, or using a different piece of small equipment.
So it's an adaptability test. Can they pull a different tool from their toolbox on demand to achieve the same goal?
That's exactly it. It checks if they truly know their repertoire and can apply it flexibly, always keeping that stated focus and the client's needs in mind, not just following a script.
And the overall flow of the class needs a logical progression too, right? Not just random exercises.
Absolutely. There's a required sequence. Warm up first, then moving into mobilization, then stabilization work, then coordination challenges, and finally integration, putting it all together.
So it builds in complexity.
Right. The examiner describes a good Pilates class as being like a conversation. It should feel fluid, coherent. It's definitely not about just showing off difficult moves.
What are the common ways candidates mess this part up? Where do they stumble?
Several common pitfalls. A big one is losing the link between their stated focus and the exercises they choose. The class just drifts.
Okay.
Another is falling back on reciting a pre-memorized routine word for word.
Yeah.
It sounds robotic and shows they aren't present with the actual person.
Right, not adapting.
Exactly, forgetting to modify for the subject. Maybe they noted in the analysis that the person has a sensitive knee, but then they give them an exercise that clearly aggravates it. That's a major red flag.
That failure to adapt must be critical.
It really is. And finding the right rhythm, the right tempo of breathing and movement for that specific person, that's seen as a real sign of maturity as a teacher. You can't just impose your own pace.
Okay, so we've gone through analysis, strategy, the principles, the class structure. How is this all actually scored? What's the final measure?
It comes down to the 10 criteria of mastery. The whole evaluation is broken down against these 10 specific areas.
10 criteria.
Okay. Each one is scored on a scale, usually 6 to 10 points. And to pass the exam, the candidate needs to hit a minimum overall score typically 75% of the total possible points.
75%, that's quite a high bar.
It is. It ensures that passing isn't just about acing one or two sections. You need that overall coherence, that professional competence across the board.
Can you list those 10 criteria? What are they looking for specifically?
Well, sure. They really cover the whole process we've been discussing.
Mhm.
1, the postural analysis itself. 2, the workout focus, how clear and relevant it was. 3, understanding of those 5 principles we talked about. 4, programming skills, choosing the right exercises in the right order. 5, instruction competence, how clearly they cue and explain. 6, correction competence, how effectively they provide feedback and adjustments.
Okay, that's 6.
7, aptitude to modify for the subject, that adaptability piece again. 8, content knowledge, basically. Do they know their stuff? 9, teaching posture and manner, back to that professional presence. And 10, rhythm and time management, keeping the class flowing appropriately within the time limit.
Wow. When you list them out like that, it's striking how many are about communication, observation, and decision-making, not just physical execution.
Isn't it? Things like instruction, correction, aptitude to modify, teaching manner. These are almost like management skills applied to movement.
It really underscores that the exam is measuring, well, you said a coherence, but maybe conscience is a good word too?
That's a perfect word for it.
Yeah.
It's measuring conscience much more than raw physical strength or flexibility. The ideal candidate is someone who looks carefully before they act, listens really well before they speak, and adapts thoughtfully before they correct.
Teaching the person in front of them, not some abstract ideal from a textbook.
Exactly. Teaching from reality.
And maintaining this level of rigor, it protects the value of the certification, doesn't it? I was interested in that mention of the invisible time the examiner puts in.
Oh yeah, that's huge. The candidate teaches for about an hour, maybe a bit more. But the examiner then spends over 2.5 additional hours just reviewing the video recording.
2.5 hours.
Yep. Meticulously checking everything against those 10 criteria, writing up a detailed, justified report for every single candidate. That intense review process is what holds the standard.
It ensures the certification really means something. It's not just a weekend workshop certificate.
Definitely not. It's an audit of their entire professional approach.
So if we were to synthesize all of this, the main takeaway seems to be this demand for, what was that French word?
Justice, yeah. It means accuracy, appropriateness, rightness.
Rightness in their gaze, how they observe. Rightness in their word, how they communicate. And rightness in their gesture, how they guide movement.
Perfectly put. The goal isn't some kind of robotic perfection based on a manual. It's about profound, justifiable coherence between what they see and what they do. Observation and action linked logically.
And the examiner stressed that passing the exam is really just the beginning, right? The foundation.
Oh, absolutely. They make it very clear. The exam is the base, not the final destination. The real training, the development of true mastery, happens after certification.
Through ongoing practice.
Through daily practice, constant self-questioning, and really importantly, staying curious. They encourage integrating knowledge from other related fields, maybe osteopathy, neuroscience, biomechanics, whatever, helps enrich that reading of the body.
So the certification is like a license to keep learning, not a sign you know everything.
Exactly. A good instructor sees it that way.
That brings us to a really powerful final thought. The examiner shared this ultimate measure of success, which I found quite profound.
What was that?
That the student's body must leave more free than when it entered.
That's beautiful. More free.
Isn't it? So here's something for you, the listener, to consider. If true professional rigor, like we see in this exam, is ultimately judged by its ability to liberate the subject, to leave them better, more capable, more free, then think about your own work, your own skills. Is there an area where success is currently being judged by mere reproduction, by just following the steps, when maybe true mastery actually lies in conscious adaptation?
That ability to assess, respond, and ensure that the people or the projects or the clients you interact with are genuinely left better off, more capable, more free than when you started.
Exactly. Something to think about.